Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Becoming. This is our first episode, really doing a deep dive into each profession. I know that last year when we were doing these episodes, we kind of did an hour-long video that came out every month, kind of a short dive into each profession. This year we thought, let's take a deeper dive into it. Let's spread this out. Let's give more time so we can give more information, incorporate it. We're going to start, like I said, with the medical field. We're going to start with the field of surgery because that's what I do. And as time goes on, when we finish this, we're going to move on and move to different professions and do a deep dive into that. So stay tuned and stay excited. So I'm going to talk about the medical journey. When we talk about it, I think we have to start with foundations. And the foundation of it is high school. It sounds terrible, but you have to start thinking about these things right from the get-go, right from high school. So I tell people, if you feel like, okay, I want to go into medicine, you kind of have to start preparing a little early. High school, obviously, do well on your ACTs, do well on your SATs, do well in school. AP classes, I will say, most people see them as optional. I would strongly advise it if you can get into an AP class, because what it does is it puts you ahead for your college classes. With a lot of AP classes, if you do well with the AP exam, you get college credits for your AP classes. And for those who don't know, AP is advanced placement. I did my high school in Georgia. I went to public school in Georgia, so I don't know how it is for each state. I don't know if it's different for each county, each state. I can only talk about my experiences, which were at the state of Georgia. So we had AP classes. Most commonly that I tell students, if you're going to take AP, make sure you do English. I hated history, so I wanted to do AP history so I could just get it out of the way and not have to do it again in college. Unfortunately, did not do well on my AP history exam, so I did have to take it again in college. So all of that suffering was for nothing. AP math, AP calculus is a big one because that gets you out of a lot of math classes, because no matter what major you choose in college, everyone has to do the basics, math, English, and some sort of science. So doing all of those AP classes and getting it out of the way really tends to just put you ahead when you start doing college and gives you room to do more things when you get in there. Other things, kind of going from high school to college, volunteering, that's always big. They want to see community service. They want to see volunteer hours. Most people, I say the first place, charity begins at home. So most of my volunteer hours actually came from church. And that's where I got my volunteer hours. So I'd encourage any youth and young adults, if you're looking to volunteer, start at church, right? Charity begins at home. And then if you can look for other things in school, there's always clubs, extracurricular activities. I encourage students, find something interesting. If it's not a sport, some of us are challenged in that area. We can't play sports, but find something else. So for me, it was language. So I did French Honor Society. That was my extracurricular activity. My brother played soccer. I can't play, so I had to find it that way. My friends and I also had a knitting club when we were in high school, so we also did that, and that kind of counted as my extracurricular activity, in addition to a bunch of other clubs. I was part of the Christian Fellowship. I forget what the name is. There was a high school Christian Fellowship that we had as well that we did. So I was part of that, one of the leaders in that. So that really helped. The main thing that you want to do when you look at your application is you want your application to be well-rounded. And that same principle follows you from going into college, follows you from college going to medical school, follows you from medical school going into residency, from residency into fellowship if you so choose, and even finding a job. Basically, everyone wants to see that you're a productive member of society. That's the whole key. And being a productive member of society means, how do you give back? So if you think of it as like, basically what the college is, what medical school, what everyone wants to see is that if we get this person here, they're not just here to learn, because everybody can learn. They're going to take what they learned and they're going to use it and make an impact in society, right? The schools want to say that, okay, when we see someone on CNN, they're interviewing someone on CNN, we can say, hey, this person is an alumni from our school, and that gives them, straightforward street cred, right? And so those are kind of the things that you want to make your application. You want to package it into that. You want to do well in high school. I can't stress that. No one likes studying. Studying is not fun, right? But you want to do well. You want to get good grades, because that's really your foundation. If you can get into a good college, that sets you up. Like, that's the best thing you can do to set yourself up for the next step of the way. So we talk about volunteer hours. We talk about extracurricular activities, be it a sport, be it clubs, whatever it wants to be. Also doing well in school, and if you can, AP classes, so that you can get advanced credit placement. And all those things, hopefully with those tips, kind of get you into a good college, get you prepared, and get you ready. And then we talk about when we go into college, talking about pre-med. That's another episode. We'll do a deeper dive into that, kind of talking about college. What are the steps you need to do to prepare yourself for medical school, if that's what you choose to do, or even pharmacy school, because for a lot of these things, the pathway is different, is pretty much the same. It's different in certain ways, but pretty much the same. The most important thing, though, is you have to build your foundation. You have to make your foundation strong. To me, I feel like it's a lot sometimes when I think about it. Most of us in high school were 15, 16 and trying to plan your whole future ahead. At the same time, no matter what it is that you want to do, right, you need to do well. Whatever is worth doing well. And if you want to show your work, you have to put that effort in, and you have to do that and make it something and make it impressive. So for all the high school students out there, if you feel like, oh, I've struggled in the past, try and do whatever you can to make your resume great. So let's say you're not the strongest in academics, but if you have a ton of volunteer work, that tends to make up for, whatever you're lacking in academics. Let's say you're really great in academics and you've done well on your SAT, you've done well on your ACT, that tends to make up for deficiencies everywhere. Those things can't be zero though, but let's say you're not as strong as other people in those areas, it can help and make up for that. Studying for the exams, because the SAT, the ACT, studying for that. One of the things that helped me when I was studying and preparing for that is practice questions. Most schools will give you a practice exam and give you a practice test before you go. Tell students take that test very seriously, because what it helps you do is it tells you the areas in which you're deficient. And when okay, let's say I'm not good at critical reading, and I can practice critical reading, I can do more questions in the area of critical reading to build it, to make critical reading stronger. So the main thing is that whatever practice test your school offers. I remember my school offered it junior year, at the very beginning of junior year. It was a practice SAT, the PSAT, I think it was called then. You want to take it seriously. You want to do really well on it, because that also helps your schools. And sometimes colleges look at that practice SAT, and it can get you early offers into schools. So don't just blow it off, right? Every opportunity you get, you want to take advantage of it and you want to make good use of it. And when you get that score back, take a look at it. If I'm struggling in this area, then you have to ask yourself, how do I improve in that? If it means, okay, I need to read more, I need to practice more, I need to learn my history dates again, all those kind of things, that will definitely help. And that's pretty much it for what I can think of in getting you all the way from high school, getting you from high school, building that foundation, getting you into college. We'll see you on the next episode when we talk about college and pre-med.